What's up, guys? I am joining you from a phone booth in a co-working office in San Antonio because with my business, I get to work from anywhere, anytime, wherever there's Wi-Fi. And so today I want to go through part 2 of the Build event recap. So like I said, I'm in San Antonio. We just had 3 days of conference here at the JW Marriott. It was beautiful. I'm here for another day just recapping. But before all of these good nuggets leave my brain, I really want to dump it into video so that it's recorded in history and we can reference this in the future. So if you missed it, part 1 was all about agent production. If you're an agent that is just, you're not getting the results you want, or you're not happy with the support you have, and you're not getting paid right now, or you don't have the pipeline to last you until spring, you need to watch that video. So part 2 today is going to be focused on eXp Realty, which is the company where I hang my license at. It's the only company I've known. I've been with them for 3 years now, and I just want to share a little bit more behind the curtain because the point of this event is really about growing agents and helping them earn all of these different assets of income besides just transactionally by helping someone buy or sell. So our company actually allows our agents to make income, I think, in over 5 or 6 ways, which is pretty crazy to think about it. But today I just want to recap the notes that I took. There were so many good stories. What this conference is Build event is actually put on by agents for agents. It's not a company event, like a big corporate thing, that eXpCon that they have in Vegas coming up in October. This is actually specifically hosted and paid for by agents in eXp Realty. So when you think about that, like these events to put them on, like there was a good 3,000 to 5,000 people in the audience. I don't even know how many people came, but I used to be a wedding planner. I understand production. These are like $500,000 events to throw. And so for an agent to host an event for $500,000 or more multiple times in a year, like this is crazy, but so awesome that we get to experience it and network with these people. And so what happens is normally at a corporate event, there's sponsor after sponsor, and you're hearing from the CEO and you're hearing from the CFO and you're hearing from, I don't know, just all the executives, right? Like that's a lot of it. And then they bring in some flashy keynote speaker. Well, at Build events, it's agents who are the speakers, and they are literally just getting on stage, telling the story of their business and where they were before eXp, what happened when they brought their business to eXp, and how it's changed their life ever since. And so for some of these guys, they were with the company in the beginning. Some of them joined 5 years ago. Some of them joined 1 year ago, and you're just hearing like a complete 180 in their quality of life from the old brokerage model to the new brokerage model. And it's super inspiring to hear just how eXp is giving so much to their agents. It's really cool. So the first one I want to bring up is Kurt Schul. So he says, we attract through production, right? Number 1, eXp Realty is a real estate company. We sell and buy and do a lot of real estate transactions. In fact, in 2022, eXp was the number 1 company for number of transactions out of the entire United States. The number 1 company in transactions. We are officially doing the most business in the United States. We have more leads than any other real estate company. Just let that thing sink in. eXp provides you with more lead sources than any other real estate company in the country. That's pretty cool. So number 1, leads, right? So what does that look like? KV Core Facebook ads. That looks like Make It Rain, Realty.com, referral programs, military referral programs, express offers, luxury agent programs, you name it. This is just like a handful I could think of off the top of my head, but I could go into Workplace right now and find you 6 other lead sources. Like there's so much that eXp has done to partner with and enterprise with all of these different lead source companies to give us savings on the discount. So like Realty.com is a new partner. They're giving 33% off to all eXp agents. That's pretty sweet. Number 2 thing that we have is training and mastermind, right? eXp University has over 60 hours of training every week, which is incredible. Live training over 60 hours a week. I don't know about you, but I ain't got time for 60 hours a week. But that just goes to show you there's like so many things going on, and that's just corporate trainings. Then our organization, we're part of Proximity Partners with Clayton Getz. His organization puts on at least 6 to 8 hours of training a week. As collab agents, we don't do as much as we used to. We used to do about another 6 to 8 hours of training a week. Right now we're doing once a month, and we're just plugging everyone into Clayton stuff because it's so good. Like we don't need to reinvent the wheel anymore. We just know that we have amazing partners in business, and we just have you go and watch all those things. In addition to that, like just in our organization, we have that Bill Pipes coaching program we just got access to. We have the Locker Room Coaching Program, which is a 12-week boot camp for new agents. Incredible. That's worth $1,000 a month to be a part of that. We give that to you for free. And then you get a mentor if you're a new agent, a certified mentor, meaning they've closed at least 7 deals in the last 6 months. I am one of those mentors. So if you're looking for one of those to get you from 0 deals to 3 deals, I will help you do that. And then you have accountability and support, and just knowing that everyone at this company wants you to do more business with them. That's pretty crazy. In addition to support, we have a cloud-based model, right? And so our university and our corporate offices live on the internet, which is is pretty cool. So you can take your little avatar to eXp World and you can go to any state office you want. Let's say I have a buyer for Kentucky. I'm like, shoot, I don't really know anyone in Kentucky. Well, one, I could try to find someone on the internet, like on our workplace group, or like someone in eXp that's in Kentucky. We have amazing resources for that. But number two, I could literally walk my little avatar into the Kentucky state office and I could talk to a human being right there that's live in the office. Like, that's crazy to me. Same thing, like if you have accounting issues or you want to set up something different on like the back end of your business, right? There's an office for everything. Let's say you have an agent in Brazil or like a different country that we have, Mexico. Let's say you know someone in Mexico that's a realtor and they're interested in exploring eXp. What do? Well, you can just go to the Mexico office. Like, that's so crazy. Or like the head of growth, like Michael Valdez, they're all here to support you and get you what you need. And they exist in the cloud, which is pretty crazy. Okay, the fourth thing that we have, we did leads, training and mastermind support. Oh, revenue sharing, which is really, really cool. And I'm not going to go deep dive into that, but basically it just means if you have someone that wants to join this company and every time that they sell a home, you're going to get a percentage of the company revenue back paid to us as agents. So when you think about revenue is the gross income, right? It's not the net profit after all expenses. Revenue is off the top. eXp pays 50% of the company revenue back to its agents through RevShare. And so if you want to know more information about RevShare, I'd be happy to give you the breakdown of how it works. But basically, like example in my life, just by me doing my daily business and by me being a successful agent, people reach out to me on Instagram pretty often and YouTube. And they ask, hey Marina, tell me about this. I'm just getting my license. And so they're naturally coming to me and asking about eXp. So when those agents come on board, it means I am personally dedicated to their success. Not only am I going to work with them one-on-one, but they have access to me and then all the people above me in eXp who have been in before me. And RevShare gets paid from those agents' productions until they cap. So on average, you're talking about $2,000 to $4,000 per agent if they're a capping agent a year. So if I have 3 agents that all cap, meaning they pay $16,000 to eXp from the 20% cut of their check, like up to $16,000. That's potentially $6,000 to $12,000 in additional income for my business for not really having to do a whole lot. I don't have to be their mentor necessarily. I can sponsor an agent in Florida and be in Hawaii and have a mentor in Florida with them, right? Like there's so many ways to do this and so many ways to help each other, which is really incredible. But that's RevShare. And just another thing about revenue sharing is this is the key and the parts of the stories that are super emotional when these speakers are talking about their experience at old brokerages and then coming to eXp. When life happens, which it inevitably does, like let's say your wife gets cancer or your husband gets laid off from his job or whatever it is, and you have an impact on your ability to work the regular hours that you normally work as an agent, what do? And the most time, you don't have that big of a backup plan. Like most of us don't have 6 months to a year worth of income saved and put aside. You would be really hurting, but the RevShare takes the edge off, right? It allows us to have supplemental income. Again, just for doing your daily business and helping agents succeed, you're able to get this RevShare, which is really, really cool. And then ownership. The 5th pillar of real estate for eXp is ownership. We are agent owners. We have investment in stock and ownership in the company. Majority of stock is owned by agents and not the corporate executives, which is unlike any other company. So super cool. I wanted to tell this story about Jeff and Marcy Wilhelms. So they're part of my upline, meaning we plugged in with them and we get support directly from Jeff and Marcy in Arizona. For 10 years, they owned a Keller Williams Market Center in Tucson, Arizona. They're like one of the top ones. I think they're number one today with eXp, but they had to buy their freedom for $100,000 to leave Keller Williams because it's a franchise agreement. You are locked in. It's a business marriage. And that's why a lot of people don't leave because you're legally, contractually obligated to stay there. That's what you sign up for. But there is an answer to everything. And so they actually paid whatever it took to exit that business. Same thing. Travis and Issa owned a Better Homes and Garden franchise here in Hawaii. They had to leave and it's freedom, but it takes a big risk and it takes sacrifice to do that, right? These are not easy moves. This is a big deal, especially when you have a team following you or trusting you, right? But now, fast forward, they actually make $150,000 a month in passive RevShare from taking the same team that they had before and bringing it to eXp. I don't know about you, but that's 1 month of sacrifice just paid every month now. Like the $100,000 that they spent, they're now getting $1 million a year. That's bonkers. This is like the kind of stories that we hear, which are so crazy. Tom Trong, super cool guy. He shared just like his journey in eXp2, and he gave like a really cool comparison of like, okay, let's say you had $100,000 and you invested that $100,000 into Remax or into Compass in 2018. What would that get you today? So we like did the math. Well, if you did a $100,000 investment in eXp in 2018, that would be worth like $300,000 today, which is really cool to think about, and probably even more now that we just had a huge jump. Our stock is a growth stock at the end of the day, but it is a place where the company pays you to be here for doing certain things. So whether that's making your first transaction, you get awarded stock. When you cap, you get awarded stock. When someone joins eXp under you, you get awarded stock. When they close their first deal, you get awarded stock. Like they just are giving away stock. It's so crazy, but super cool. And it's like the compounding interest mentality. It does add up over time, and it's way more than your current company is giving you now, 100%. One thing that Jay Kinder talked about is that just establishing our force in the marketplace. He said why eXp is not going anywhere, right? We've already had some copycats, some people trying to beat eXp, and there's just no reason why eXp would fail at this point. We're too big, and we're owned by our agents. Like, keep this in mind. We are not playing an executive's game. Agents have a bigger share in stocks than the executives do. So we're the first to market. So if you think about like brick and mortar shopping versus Amazon was the first one to have this online marketplace. There's tried to be copycats and no one has succeeded. They are the one and the only, and everybody uses them. So Jay Kinder, he's been in the business for 25 years. Again, this is just credibility. We'll put this on the little text. He was the former number 2 agent worldwide for Coldwell Banker. Like, these are not stupid business people. These are people who are entrepreneurs and they see an opportunity and they come to eXp. So now he freely gives away his book of business to agents, which is awesome. He's the co-founder of Kinder Reese Coaching, and he built an organization of 8,700 people over the last 5 years. So cool. eXp was the first to market mover advantage, meaning everyone can try to beat us, but they can't beat us. Number 2, eXp has a lower operating costs at scale, 100%. When we look at profitable companies, we just did our State of the Union address. eXp is the most profitable real estate company nationwide, and I think Compass is the worst. So it's pretty crazy when you think of it that way. Our founder, our employees, and our agent ownership is 70% plus. Number 4, our culture, our leadership, our values, and our agility allows us to adapt quickly with the marketplace. We really have a collaborative culture where we give more than we take. We give, and it's a place of love. And just a side note, like, through all the speakers, this is a faithful community, really keeping God first, despite real estate being usually you think of like a greedy and very much money-minded industry. This company is not. They are givers by heart, and it's amazing. Super inspiring. Number 5, we have low-cost models. There are lower-cost models. So we said Compass, Real, and whoever comes next, they're not profitable. Number 6, they will never have this community of agents, which I said before. But just quick story time. Bene from California came to build with us. She's a newer agent with our organization. Really didn't know much about eXp at all. Like, just knew that her team was coming over and she was excited, but she really wanted to learn more. So she came to build, and she has admitted this is like unlike anything she even thought was possible. She's just blown away. She's been with 2 indie brokerages before coming over, and just the amount of support and like open arms that all these agents have given her is crazy. Doesn't matter what organization you're in. Like, she was talking to people from all over the United States, all different levels of success. Just, hey, can I get your number? What do you think about this? Tell me about this thing about eXp. And everyone just gives. And that's what I'm talking about. Until you've been in this environment, you don't really understand. You think you know what eXp is, but until you come to an event or you actually get in, you have no idea what you're missing. And that's what I think is the most exciting part, and why I love this freaking company so much. I love my job. Like, this is fun. I don't know about you, but like, if I was at another company who just took, I would not be having fun. I actually get paid to be here, which is really, really cool. My company pays me. Then let's go into AJ Maida. So he said, as a producer, you have 2 steps to growth, right? You're a top agent in your firm. Yay, now what do you do? 1, you grow a team. Okay, yay, we grow the team. Now what do you do? Next step, I've got a top team in the state. What do I do? Natural progression is to leave that franchise and you open your own brokerage, right? Well, what if there was a third option? What if you didn't have to open the indie brokerage, right? What could you do? You can just simply hang your license at eXp. You still get the branding of an indie brokerage. You still get the community and the sense of organization that you do at an indie brokerage. You have none of the liability, none of the overhead cost, way more support than you could ever offer your agents at an indie brokerage. and it just makes sense. But until you take the time to sit down and see it for yourself and probably listen for 7 times and talk to 10 different people, it's not going to make sense because it's a whole different concept. We really have to break your mindset here. So, and I love this quote, eXp is the only company where agents' goal is to grow agents and to outgrow and earn more. So like, I say this all the time, but like when someone joins eXp, I want them to be more successful than me. And what other company can you say that? Usually they're pretty selfish and they don't want to give you secrets, and there's a lot of like shade being thrown and they're all competing with each other. And that's just like complete opposite at eXp. There was a panel with Glenn, who's the CEO and founder of eXp, Michael Valdez, who's the head of growth, and then Gogo, who is an amazing leader in eXp. And so Glenn shared his experience with Keller Williams and running teams. He did this in the 90s, and he learned that it was a revolving door for agents. So attracting agents is a cross industry, across companies, like it's a problem we all have and we all deal with. Every single company, doesn't matter where you are. If you're at Coldwell Banker, if you're at Remax, you're trying to attract agents. You need agents in all the time because the door is constantly revolving. People drop out. We know that a lot of agents quit and they're not successful. We know that people switch teams. Like it's a revolving door in this business, right? But in eXp, he found a solution to that problem because now we can actually just let them leave a team, but they stay in the eXp orbit and we still get money off them even if they're left the team. This is unheard of. If you are with a traditional team, when you leave that team, it can get ugly. Like there are people being sued sometimes, threatened to be sued. You lose all those relationships. Like it just can get really nasty. And in eXp, when you leave our team, it's like, awesome, go thrive and build your business. I'm still here to support you and you still get to help them. And it's not this like whole emotional thing. The other thing is that we are cloud-based, right? So obviously no brick and mortar costs. I don't know about you, but commercial space is very expensive. And so if you are used to or have in the past owned a franchise or had a brick and mortar, you know that you're used to paying $10,000 to $20,000 a month on your commercial space. And in this case, you don't need any of that. Obviously, if you want to, and that's part of your culture that you want to keep, you can keep your lease, but you have the option to not have that. Okay? Again, just the old way is very selfish. It's only about the producer or what the brokerage needs. The new way is the agents are owners and everybody can win when anyone wins. Let's just make that a quote right there. Everybody can win when anyone wins. Okay? I'm going to put that on my wall. That's super good. And then Glenn also just talked about his experience through the years. Like he used to be a top agent too, and he ran teams. Like he knew what he was doing, okay? This is in California. He said his biggest aha moment when he figured out online lead marketing, because he's like a techie nerd a little bit, is that he made the decision to never cold call again. So he's a true believer that he only wants to work with inbound leads because the clients are opting into us. They're giving us permission to call them. We're not bothering them because they asked for information. We're not hurting their day or being annoying because they said, I'm interested in this home. So he is a lead generator techie from the 90s that took it through the 2000s and now to the 2020s. And that's why we were so forward facing, because he was an early online marketer. That's his sweet spot. So then we just wrap this up with the future of eXp the next 5 years, right? What is eXp going to look like from 2024 to 2029? What are we expecting? So Michael Valdez said we're going to go from 24 countries to 50 countries. Which I don't know about you, but that sounds pretty cool. We've already got 2 agents in South Africa right now. I'm down for a South Africa trip. You guys tell me when to come. I'll be there. But expanding like 26 more countries. That's cool. Right now we're at 88,000 agents, and he's saying we're going to go to 500,000 agents by then. Again, we're going beyond borders at this point. This is international. Absolutely. There's so much room for growth. It's not too late to join eXp and get on this opportunity. There is so much available. We have already launched our Boost program, which is allowing indie brokerages to join really effectively and with finesse, because we understand onboarding an indie brokerage is not an easy thing. Right? When you have your own company and you have a team, maybe hundreds of agents underneath you, it's not as easy as just, well, fill out some paperwork, right? There's a lot of things we got to help you with. So it's kind of like an indie brokerage concierge for the Boost program. As of this week, in the middle of July, we had 60 indie brokerages in the queue right now to come over, meaning they have committed, they're ready. We're just working on things because, again, this takes some finesse. But if that is you and you are an indie brokerage owner or you work for one and you guys are interested in learning more, know that they have a dedicated Boost team to help you guys do that smoothly. The last thing Michael said is that we have a core value of agility. We are nimble, we are quick to adapt and pivot, and that's something our competitors are never going to have because they have all of these like corporate rules and structures and laws, whereas like eXp, we can turn on a dime still. That is pretty cool. We are the largest independently owned brokerage in the nation. So again, we are not small anymore. We are growing and growing quickly. So Glenn shared his prediction for the next 5 years is that we're going to be sharing $1 billion in rev share by then, which means $300 million a year in equity back to agents, and equity meaning stock. So the company is going to pay $300 million a year back to their agents. I don't know about you, but that sounds pretty nice. And then, so we already talked about this, but like all the different ways you can get stock awarded to you, right? This doesn't mean you're buying it. It means it's literally given to you for doing certain activities. Quick note on that. So the Icon program, not a lot of people know this, but if you're a high producer and you typically cap really easily and then you sell another 20 to 40 homes a year, you can actually hit Icon. And when you hit Icon, you get all $16,000 of your cap rewarded back to you in eXp stock. So you literally pay the company nothing for doing your regular business. Like there's no cap pretty much at that point because you're getting it rewarded back. So that's super, super cool. Okay, so then the other thing Glenn said is that in 5 years, he's expecting we're going to create 50 to 100,000 agent millionaires by that time. And that's that value, like how much money we're creating for wealth for people, is a total of their commission, it's a total of their equity, and a total of their rev share awarded to them. So I don't know about you, but I am planning, and I'm proclaiming it, I will be one of those millionaires in 5 years simply by doing the same thing I'm doing today, by sharing about the opportunity and inviting people to save more money on their business, to connect with more people, to get more leads, to have a better quality of life, and to be able to sleep at peace at night knowing that your whole income isn't only dedicated to what you produce, that you're gonna have a check coming next month, regardless if you list another home. Every single month, we know that we wipe the whiteboard clean and we start over. Every time you close a deal, you are back to square one and you're unemployed again, unless you have the next one and you always have multiple in escrow at all times, which for the average agent, you don't. Sometimes it means you close 2 and then you have a month of nothing and then you close 2 more. It's so crazy. And like these stories are so inspiring. Really just sink that in. I know this is a lot and I tried to wrap it all together. If you guys want these notes again, give me a little shoot, like a DM or an email or something, and I can give you my notes because I want you guys to like read it and really take it in. But the biggest thing is if you are looking and thinking, okay, 2 years from now, do I see myself staying at my current brokerage? If you're not, what is the reason? And I want to guarantee that any problem you have, someone in our community at eXp has the answer. Like I guarantee it. Our organization is so large, like almost 90,000 agents. At least 5,000 of those agents are top producers, meaning they are like old team leaders from Keller Williams. Like Clayton Getz used to own 3 Keller Williams market centers. Meaning he had 3 franchise brick and mortars and he brought his entire business to eXp. These are not stupid people. These are people who see opportunity, they understand business, they have coaches, they have CPAs, they do all the things, and they have chosen to make the move. And I just want more people to open their eyes to the opportunity, have an open mind, sit down and go through all of your objections, all your concerns. And if it doesn't make sense for you, it doesn't make sense, but at least you know, because I feel like by now most agents know about it, but they don't really get it, if that makes sense. So if that's you and you just want to be like, well, let me just check this out my box so eXp agents can stop calling me, you need to have the call, okay? So schedule a call, the link's below in my Calendly link, and I would love to just set up a 15-minute chat and see why it won't work. Like tell me why it won't and I'll tell you why it will. And so that's my invitation to you. I'll be back next week with another video. I'm not giving up hope. It's not a matter of if everyone's coming, it's a matter of when. Because when we know this business model so well, and we look at the old industry versus the new, everyone is eventually going to go to a cloud-based model. It just is what it is. It's business. It's the cost of doing business. And so if you don't think that those companies are to try to come and do cloud, or at least like go bankrupt, like you are facing a world of hurt in the next 5 to 10 years, just saying. So just want to give it out there. I love you guys. I will see you soon. Thanks.